SkarBrand has arisen and he's here to stomp on the rat folks. Although those are storm vermin, so he's gonna get a little bit of trouble from those ratties. Speaking of SkarBrand, SkarBrand-Chan has sent me this replay I found very, Skaven's 2. Okay, yeah, very, very interesting. So, Tretch and some sneaky lads with some, and a whole bunch of rats. SkarBrand don't like that, but Sword of Khorne will like that. Got Night Runners. Nice little Vanguard tactic I like here from this no-name Berserk. Yeah, some random, I guess. Anyways, SkarBrand's playing against Berserk. And I like the build so far. Nice, easy way to get center. Lots of slingers and whatnot. I'm surprised it doesn't bring weapons team, but weapons team to try to snipe or deal with a lot of this nonsense. Go where Globadiers. But with Furies, that might be a bit of a problem. Furies are a pain in the butt. Especially if you start with them too. If your opponent starts out with like 4 Furies and Valkia, it can be a real issue to deal with any of this. But it's even a bigger issue when you have SkarBrand, who can enrage a nice cheap, or not even cheap, but a nice expensive Skaven Lord who wants to get hit. But SkarBrand don't like rocks thrown at him. He doesn't like spoons or anything being thrown at him, so he's just gonna run away for a minute until he can find his opportunity. Berserk, though, going to guarantee himself the center as SkarBrand-Chan builds up his forces, but the longer he waits, I think he's gonna miss opportunities here. But that's the beauty of Khorne. They're gonna pick the opportunity when to strike, and it's gonna be a beautiful one. More Fleshhounds coming in right now, I believe. It's hard to tell because the Fleshhounds and Chaos Warhounds have the same banner. Halberds I do like. It makes a nice little mix. The plague. The Rat Ogres are actually gonna have a hard time dealing with them. That's why a lot of the Slingers are throwing their ammo. Actually, they've run out of a lot of ammo. Oh no, those are the Night Runners. Even then, Night Runners have used up a lot of their ammunition, which is pretty insane. They did some pretty decent damage, I would say, into the Halberds, but it doesn't seem like it to be enough. Storm Vermin will beat the snot out of Marauders, and here come the Furies trying to get that wrap. The big fat Rat Ogres, though, are there for the counter charge, ready and waiting. But SkarBrand is going to pick his moment carefully, and he's not going to go for that. I see a Doom-flayer? No, Doom Wheels. Might be Doom-flayer. I forget. I haven't seen them used until the recent buff, and that's pretty much for the reason why I'm going to show this replay, because man, are they insanely good. Okay, Furies dropped on those Slingers. Beautiful drop, too. Got rid of a whole thing on the charge. Good breath. Oh my goodness, those Storm Vermin got deleted. I think that was, what, 3,000 value? Or 3,000 damage. Doom-flayers, they are Doom-flayers. Going into Halberds, nice little enrage there. Picks those up for free, which is beautiful, because that anti-infantry is going to be a problem. Speaking of a problem, he needs to bring the rest of his forces over here. Should have done that a bit earlier, I think, now that SkarBrand's getting hit. But with the speed, he can just keep forcing the units that need... He can basically split the whole Skaven blob out in the open, which is one of Khorne's best qualities. Same with Slaanesh, but Slaanesh just doesn't have the charge, the oomph, or the staying power, I would say, compared to... Slaanesh is definitely more glass cannon, I would say, compared to Khorne. I mean, you have to pay for something when you have no magic. You gotta get something out of it, you know? Fleshhounds will beat the Rat Ogies, no problem. Warlock Engineer, about time Berserk summons in a caster. And that caster is gonna be exactly what he should have had earlier. Those Fleshhounds will bully that Warlock Engineer, though. Doom-flayers are still sticking around. Great for dealing with little old Furies on the charge. You'd be surprised. And there's 2 of them. They will absolutely destroy those Furies. Another beautiful breath. Murder those Storm Vermin. Absolutely killed. And ooh, SkarBrand sees a rat he wants to kick. Bam! Goodbye, Tretch. Everyone fire at SkarBrand now! That's what Berserk is screaming. Kill him! Fire everything! No! And Tretch is probably gonna die. I mean, you have a giant greater demon, a legendary giant greater demon, absolutely kicking your legendary rat lord across the chariots. Who brings chariots in a rat fight? Come on. Even I wouldn't bring the chariots. Chariots, I think. Chariots actually, from watching this game, comparing Doom-flayers to the chariots, they really need a buff, and that buff has to be increase their models. Beautiful Sword of Khorne. My goodness, got at least 2 very good, oh, not very good units, but still 2 units. And yeah, back to what I was saying. The chariots definitely need the work that the Doom-flayers are getting right now to actually start accumulating value. Which is weird to say, because people are still bringing in, like, Doom, Hellflayers and all that in the Demons of Chaos roster and Slaanesh roster. All those Slaanesh chariots. And they're doing pretty fine. They're doing okay, I would say. I wouldn't say they're doing insane damage and value, but they're okay. But when you have something like a Doom-flayer, which just gets better in combat, actually does insane damage in sustained combat with its anti-infantry. 26 bonus versus infantry. Oh, look at that! Trench is gonna get kicked into the edge of the map. Which, the chariots actually need that increase in model count to 12, because once they do their charge, they do pretty okay, I would say. You really need to get them down the line formation if you want to get some deep, really good value. And your opponent doesn't have to be paying attention. And Doom-flayers, though, even if they don't get that charge bonus, like from charge reflection or anything, their sustained combat is still pretty insane. It might just be their animations or whatnot, I'm not sure, but you'll see what I mean here, because they are just gonna plop right down. Or maybe the chariots aren't so bad. You know, getting a rear charge on a bunch of Skaven slaves just to get them out of here is not the worst thing. Hey, excuse me. Fleshhound's trying to keep back these red ogres so SkarBrand can get free and finish off that poor old rat lord. Another fine breath. Man, SkarBrand-Chan is on point. Look at that. He's up almost he's up 2,000 value. He's sending the ratties all the way back to their hell pit. Yeah, those hounds actually need to start going on those Skaven boys. And here comes the Doom-flayers, right on top of those marauders. They don't do that fantastic in the charge, but what they do immediately just start crumbling these marauders. They're running like 700 health. And they're losing it quick too. Down another 300. By the time I get out of cinematic mode, they're probably going to lose another 1,000. Being surrounded by ratty boys. Yeah, even the Flesh and the Chaos Warhounds need to come in and try to help out. Which isn't fantastic because the Doom-flayers at 114 armor will pretty much tank all that damage. Good warp lightning? Warp gale? I forget what the spell's called. Basically the one that stops Furies in their tracks. Well, flyers specifically. And the nice little overcasted. I don't know if it's overcasted. Definitely nasty damage though. From the other spell. Forget the name of it. I don't play Skaven, okay? At least I used to. I haven't played it in a while, but seeing these Doom-flayers do work, I might get back into it. Skaven's actually been doing quite well. I think they're in the 50% range, which is not too far from what Khorne is at. I think Khorne is at 51, but against Skaven, Khorne actually struggles quite well. I think it's actually, well, maybe I'm thinking land battles. Land battles, it's absolutely horrendous. I think it's 100% in the Skaven favor, because you just can't get through all their blobs and they just shoot everything down. But in Domination, though, I don't know. Good kick. Kill that warlock, SkarBrand-Chan. Kill him. I mean, SkarBrand. Oh, no, he's enveloped the soul of SkarBrand. No. Almost 3,000 value now in terms of value. Actually, it is 3,000 value. SkarBrand's ahead. He's taking the points. Berserk, I think he's a little over chasing here. He should start summoning in something to deal with those Doom-flayers like Minotaurs or more Halberds. Tretch, though, is back and he's brought Stormvermin as friends. That should help out with a lot of the leadership penalties going on right now. But I think that's the least of his concern. Yeah, I think, yeah, Minotaurs or Halberds or Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes, that's really our best bet in dealing with Doom-flayers in the Khorne roster. Can't really think of anything else. Maybe... Well, Skull Crushers aren't really viable, so I wouldn't say them. Yeah. Maybe Chaos Knights? Maybe? I doubt it. Yeah, look at that side charge from that chariot. Didn't do diddly squat. Did more morale damage, though, than actual damage. I think it did, like, maybe 200 damage. 1 or 200 damage. The Marauder Horsemen just aren't cutting it right now. SkarBrand's gonna try to grab what he can and get away from his unit so he doesn't kill them all. Furies, though, just left over here. Luckily, Berserk hasn't capitalized on that mistake, but we'll see. Berserk is down 2 units, a lot of value. How is he going to try to come back with this? Well, these Doom-flayers are a good start. As long as he doesn't lose them to SkarBrand, which is probably the best bet in dealing with them. Just enrage them and then force a bad engagement. And Berserk needs to be careful not to lose his poor Ratty Lord again. Night Runners to come deal with SkarBrand makes perfect sense. Where's the Warlock Engineer? Oh, it's just sitting on the center objective. I would actually go and throw the Marauder Horsemen. I wouldn't say throw them into there, but try to just snipe that little caster. Because the throwing axes will absolutely murk a Footlord. I've had, I would say 4? Yeah, I've taken 4 Marauder Horsemen with Javelins, to be fair. Javelins to, ooh, beautiful charge, getting those Night Runners. Ooh, love that. Alright, sorry about that. I just love a good charge. Yeah, I've had 4 Marauder Horsemen with Javelins on Slash. Absolutely, almost, I think, taken like 1/4 of the HP of Festus. So, for those who don't know, Festus is a Footlord. And yeah, he's got a good chunk of health. He's got some healing. Ooh, man, what happened there? That must have been sort of Khorne down there. So yeah, if that can do it with that, I think a weakened little Skaven Warlock with throwing axes would probably get taken out. Alright, Tretch is over there now. That just means there's going to be a lot of rear charging coming in from SkarBrand and a bunch of units. But he needs to take out that Warlock Engineer. Oh no, he's still going to do the cleansing. There it goes. Yeah, damn bastard's at 1,000 health too. One good charge could get rid of him. And he's on foot though, so he's cheap. It's not like SkarBrand's doing himself any favors by taking him out. But look at how many rats are just tumbling about! Those storm vermin. Poor bastards. And there he comes, finishing off the little ratty boy. Only 10 seconds, and with SkarBrand's 35% spell resistance, it's not the worst. He'll retake the center, hold his objective, but the Doom-flayers are still just, Doom-flayers are just annoying. He needs to get his Furies out of there, needs to get a lot of his units just blobbed up next to himself, or by himself. Next to his other units, reform ranks, that's what I mean. And have SkarBrand ready for the charge, or at least the counter charge. Yeah, those Doom-flayers are doing nasty work. Furies are not safe while Doom-flayers are about, I can tell you that right now. Which is funny, because it used to be the Wolf Rats that could deal with the Furies. And they didn't do too bad, actually. Not the best, but it didn't do too bad. Doom-flayers, it's an absolute slaughter. There's no winning for the Furies. None whatsoever. Fleshhounds on the charge do okay, but that 114 armor is just brutal. Hopefully in the next DLC, we'll get a fix to one of our biggest problems, which is heavy armor. Oh, SkarBrand, no! And that is actually going to be the beginning of a big problem. A leadership problem, actually. Because a lot of SkarBrand's units, a lot of these Khorne units are already crumbling on that -16. Taking bad engagements, and then just crumped. At least he gets some value against those Night Runners with those hounds. But it's still a problem here, and a lot of these units are infantry. No Minotaurs in sight. So, yeah. And that's the thing with fighting against Skaven. You have to deal with the number of different builds they can bring. The Vermintide, the Weapons Teams, the Death Globes, the Poison Globes, Mortars, Artillery, all the mix and combinations, and now Doom-flayers. So it's a headache for Khorne. It's an absolute nightmare, actually, for Khorne to deal with. And even if you kill their lord, great. They suffer a... They get the negative bonus to their leadership, but... Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It really doesn't. Because their lords are so cheap. I'm not saying Skaven doesn't have its weaknesses. What I'm saying is, Khorne is just not equipped to deal with Skaven at all. And now it's even worse. So hopefully in the next DLC that's coming, hopefully sometime in November, no delays, cross our fingers, they'll have something to actually deal with them. Deal with something heavy metal, like, instead of just relying on nothing but Minotaur, something cheap, something in the range of 650 to 700, maybe the Slaughter Gores with nice dehav, with AP, anti-large, that would be pretty good, anti-large AP glass cannon units. Replace halberds, replace those poor pesky, what are those? Minotaurs with great weapons. I'd still bring Minotaurs with great weapons. But I'd also bring Slaughter Gores just to deal with them. That would be fantastic, but I don't see them having anti-large, so we'll see. We shall see. And not only that, thinking about that, can you imagine what the Beastmen would have with anti-large? Oh my goodness, Slaughter Gore would be so broken. Would they get AP? Probably. You would definitely need AP to deal with all the nonsense that Khorne needs. But man, Beastmen just keep getting better! It's nuts! I mean, they kind of already got AP with Pestigore, so anti-large AP isn't the worst, it's not the best. And they already have plenty of other options for anti-large, or just heavy armor in general. But not infantry size. But who knows, we'll see. We'll see how busted they're gonna be. Speaking of busted, Doom-flayers just chasing off these units. Fleshhounds, Furies, there's really nothing stopping Berserk right now from taking objective after objective. And even though SkarBrand has 4,000 value ahead, he's gonna win in 25 seconds as long as he holds the center. But from the leadership perspective and the lack of units, even with the Sword of Khorne, it's just too much. GG's. Triple capped at the last second. It's brutal. Absolutely brutal. It's just sad. Sad. Sad, I say. So yeah, TA, get on it. Fix my favorite faction and make it work. As for Skaven, I think a nerf to their Doom-flayers would be very helpful, because, like I said in other videos, if a unit's being limited to a certain amount, it's probably going to need a nerf. Doom-flayers probably should be limited to 1 or 2, but yeah, we'll see. Alright folks, you know what time it is, we're getting to the end of the video here. If you liked the video, please like, sub, follow me here on YouTube. Join the Discord, we're on the road to 2,000 now. I greatly appreciate it. Come see me on the stream, come play me, or play the other players we have here like SkarBrand-Chan. Whether it's 1v1s, 2v2s, or all the other fun stuff, free-for-alls. And yeah, get yourself on the channel. Always want to get new players in here. Alright, with all that said, y'all have a good one, peace, and goodbye for now.